ебучая, блядь, Европа, нахуй, тварь, сижу. Вот я достала молоко, вот. Сука, оно закрыто! Я начинаю его шейкить. Что мы, блядь, видим? Сука, блядская тварь ебаная, я уже заебала от этой хуйни, я заебалась уже. Вот это каждый, сука, божий раз. Каждая ебучая бутылка имеет такое дерьмо. Каждая. Когда я сюда говорю каждая, я имею в виду, блядь, каждая. Ебучая, я не знаю. Все в этой хуйне. Кто, блядь, додумался, блядь, вот это сделать? Кто? Кто решил, что, сука, вот это, блядь, удобно? Ты когда наливаешь ебучую колу, не обращаешь внимания, она льется вот так, блядь. Нормально. Кто это придумал?
Now, if you're in the European Union and you dislike Ursula von der Leyen and her cronies, well, then it depends on your geolocation. If you're in the West, you must be a racist, fascist bigot, because that's the only reason to dislike Ursula von der Leyen and her cronies. If you happen to be in the East, it's because you're with Putler, right? So like, the first thing when you criticize the European Union is where the fuck are you, so they can know what criticism and label to put on you. And there are no reason to dislike Ursula von der Leyen and her cronies. Like, none whatsoever, right? Like, everything that comes as a criticism must be due to a conspiracy theory, probably set by the Kremlin. So apparently now the Kremlin conspired to fuck with our bottle caps, because I have had enough. I drink Pepsi on a regular basis. I drink milk every single morning. And just so you can understand how awful it is, look at this shit, right? The EU directive of the European Parliament sets new requirement for the production of tethered caps. All of them. Yeah, fucking all of them. No right to choose whatsoever, because some chucklehead that gets paid from our taxpayer money decided in his infinite wisdom to fuck with our personal lives. Why? Because he has absolutely nothing better to do and he needs to get paid. So, tethered caps are caps which remain firmly attached to the bottle after opening it during the product's service life or cycle. The directive requires that the lid and caps of bottles and composite packaging with a capacity of up to 3 liters to remain firmly tethered to the container for as long as they are used. The EU member states, right, like they force my fucking government, they force my government to implement the corresponding regulations. So let me get this straight, right? Like why they're making legislation so that we can't have an AI? Like the China has their own AI, the United States has their own AI, and so we must have the first legislation ever on planet Earth, probably in the universe, that regulates AI. We can't have our own social media because we have GDPR, right? Like GDPR compliance, meaning that only the most wealthy companies on Earth, like TikTok, Facebook, Google, they get to have social media. But if you want to create your social media and you're unlucky enough to be in the European Union, well, you can't, because the regulations are going to crush you. We got like the Digital Service Act, where the government needs to know what private citizens are doing, right? Like constant just takedown notice from social media companies, just like nonstop censorship. You know, that's what we produce. But hey, you know, like we already got the bottle cap. I mean, that's so fucking cool, isn't it? It's the little things. It's the fucking little things that keep adding up. Why was this even considered? Why? Like, what happened for the thousands of years in human existence where we didn't have the bottle cap that stays attached? Like, look, I'm not saying that, like, some person may not like it, but why don't we get the right to choose? Why is it enforced on people? And by the way, you know, I'm willing to bet that this costs money. Like, someone did a grift with this shit. Like, someone somewhere, a fucking asshole, decided that he needs to take some cash in order to invent this, and then probably got the European Union to use his invention in order to have the bottle caps the way they are. You know, again, like, the reason it pisses me off so much is that it's a little thing. And they're like, all these tiny little things just constantly adding up, and they're being enforced on people, whether we like it or not. Like, what happened with the free market? You know, like, how did the Americans manage to live without this cap? And then it's like, how do I punish these people? This is what pisses me off the most. I can't vote them out. I can't choose not to buy from them. I can't do anything against them, right? But we live in a democracy where the people have a right to choose. I actually had a conversation with someone on Discord the other day, and he said something interesting. I haven't fact-checked it, So I don't know if it's true or not, but it sounds kind of plausible when you think about it. It's like in dictatorships where you have like a monarchy, you know, like a king, like absolutism, it's less likely that the king fucks with the private life of people in this small detail on a consistent basis than you have in places that are democratic. I guess in a way it kind of makes sense, right? Because in a democracy, like the politicians are hyper concerned with what people are thinking. Like if you don't share the message of the politician in power, he is terrified. He is terrified because by the next elections, he can lose his seat. He can lose his ability to grift. He can lose all of the cash and benefits. And so, like, he needs to get people to think correctly. It's not about the actions that people do, but it's like the thought. Like, do you have the correct thinking? And so, like, they need to be as invasive as possible into the life of the private citizen to make sure that the private citizen votes for them in the future. While in a monarchy, the king doesn't give a shit. Like, he's going to be there no matter what. And so, he's more concerned is like, oh, are people actually doing a rebellion or something? No, they leave them the fuck alone. Why do I care? God, I really hate this. Like, you guys don't know how annoying it is. You guys don't know how annoying it is. It's like, like imagine you want to drink some milk, right? Like, you wake up in the morning, you're having breakfast, you want to drink the milk from the bottle. You can't because the fucking bottle cap presses against your cheek. You gotta tear it off. You gotta rip it off. And I'm like, but why? Because I didn't have to do that 2 years ago. Like, again, it's not like a big hurdle or anything. It's not like it's impossible to work around it. But like, why do I constantly have my taxpayer money going to fund people that keep trying to make me have to work around things? This is just one example. You can't burn leaves into your backyard. You can't go onto a website without getting the pop-up to accept or decline if you want the website to give you cookies or some shit. Like, it's like, the thing is, it's not that inconvenient yet. But as time goes by, there's new shit being added, and none of the shit that are added ever get removed. Right? So, like, I just wonder how things will look like 20 years from now. Like, no, seriously, think about this, like, 20 years in the future, if this keeps up, if just, like, more and more nonsense is being added. And by the way, I'm pretty sure, like, this costs the industry something, because you can't just tell every single bottle cap producer to, like, change the bottle caps and that's for free, you know, they just, like, snap their finger. Like, no, some money is being wasted somewhere. Some fat, arrogant, bureaucratic person is getting paid for this. And there's no way to punish them. You can't vote them out. You can't choose not to buy from them. There's nothing you can do. So yeah, I think like this is one of Putler's new conspiracy theories. Like he must have told people on social media to get upset about the bottle caps. Anyway, I just wanted to have a little rant because, again, you guys don't understand the pain. You're Americans, right? You live in a place where you don't have to put up with this shit. I'm sure you probably put up with different shit. And you're probably ranting about it as well, so hopefully you can understand the way I feel. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.